Hello and welcome to the kickoff call for the Google Cloud trainings program. As you all are aware, today is the kickoff call, and I'm sure you are excited and just looking forward to all the amazing insights that are going to be shared. Now, before we get started, just in order for us to engage the audience, would be good to know where you're joining us from. And so kindly share before we get onto the main agenda. I am seeing Nigeria in bold, Cameroon, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana. I mean, just feel free to populate this. Would be good for us to know where you're joining us from as we get forward into growing your skills with Google Cloud. So kindly feel free to populate this. A little bit of info as to what to do. On the chat section, we will be able to answer any question that is posted there. And so leverage on that on the chat section. Also feel free to interact with one another throughout the program. But right now, let's just see where you're joining us from for the next 2 minutes as we wait for everyone else to join us. Okay, we can see Zimbabwe is represented, Botswana is there, Uganda, trying to see Wari, Delta State, I believe that he's still in Nigeria. Ghana, yes, represent your flag. Just feel free to add whatever it is that you have there, and would be good for us to also know. Nairobi from Kenya, yay. Yeah, I feel like a little bit representation on our end is also good. Hadija from Kenya, nice to meet you, Hadija. Dandas, okay. Still more people, just feel free to populate it. We still have 1 more minute to go. Angola, okay, this is beautiful. Yeah, as you all are aware, the program is running across Sub Saharan Africa, and we'll have everyone joining us from all the corners of all the countries in Sub Saharan Africa. And we're looking forward to an amazing 8 weeks with all of you. Oh, I almost forgot. My name is Atieno Alela, Community Manager for the Dev Ecosystem team. I am based in Nairobi, Kenya. And as you continue populating the cloud, I am going to hand it over to John Kimani, who is the Program Manager for the Dev Ecosystem team based in Nairobi, Kenya. And he'll be able to tell us more about what to expect. John, to you.
All right. Thank you, Alela, for kicking us off. It's wonderful to see you all on this webinar. Thank you for making time to join. My name is John Kimani. I am with the developer relations team at Google. My team works with developers like yourselves who are passionate about Google's technologies, are passionate about connecting with Google's developer communities, and really our role is to bring you all together to create these moments for us to learn more about Google Tech and to grow together. Today's session is dedicated to the Cloud Skills for Africa initiative that we kicked off. And over the next 8 weeks, you're going to have a wonderful opportunity to grow and deepen your skills with Google Cloud. And for that reason, I would like to invite one of my colleagues, Camila from the Cloud Learning Services, to kick us off.
Thanks so much, John. Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here, and you can already feel the energy from both you and Alela. So thank you so much for being so energized. I think it's towards the end of the day, like afternoon or evening-ish, so to say, depending on where you are. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining the meeting and being ready to skill up on Google Cloud together with us. I want to present a couple of details or more information about the campaign that we're about to run. Later on, we'll also have a guest who is a cloud engineer, William, who will be joining me and us all together here after I am done with my section. So I'm really happy to provide you with a little bit of context for this campaign, why even learn about cloud, why it's important, and so on. So I'll be really happy to take also some questions afterwards. We probably do it in sections, so I'm gonna share some information with you, and then we can also have always some questions coming from the audience. And I also want to introduce myself before I kick in more. So as John said, my name is Kamila. I am connecting, actually, I should have put my flag as well. I'm connecting from Poland. I live here, I'm based here in one of the Google offices. And I am part of a team that's related to learning in Google Cloud. So most of our teams will work together with customers, with partners. I have the privilege to work together mostly with what we call future workforce, which is essentially you, all of you who are participating in the webinar. It's students, everyone who's a developer or wants to become a developer, is keen and interested in cloud and new technologies. So this is why we create those experiences for. This is why we have the campaign. And I'm really happy and looking forward to really learn more about your feedback, your experience with the campaign afterwards as well. And really happy to also have the entire team of Alela, John, Khadija, and William also helping us in the webinar. So everyone hands on board, and really happy to kick it off. So let me start with the presentation, and afterwards, as I've mentioned, we're going to have some time to see for questions as well. So I'm going to stop my camera and just switch to the presentation so we can all focus. Again, welcome to the webinar, and it's really important for us that we help to shape the skills in whoever really wants to explore that are related to cloud. As you know, there's not only the topic of machine learning and AI, like very hot topics in the last, not even months, but more than months already. And we really want to make sure that whoever is interested in it can understand what is in cloud. How can cloud help transform not only businesses? Maybe you will be running a startup, maybe you'll be working for a particular company, and really regardless in what industry it is, whether it's tourism, whether it's maybe banking, finance, etc., regardless what you do, there is something that you can use from cloud for the benefit of that particular your job, or your either landing a better job in the future, or maybe using the different technologies that cloud brings on board in your daily work. This is the agenda for today. So as we already covered the welcomes and introductions, and now I want to tell you a little bit about the Google Cloud Careers as already started. We will also have then our guest and an introduction to the platform, as you will be using Google Cloud Skills Boost, which is the learning platform that we have at Google Cloud. And it's really designed for good experience and good ability to learn. So we'll be definitely using that. And this is also what you will be getting communication about from our team. And then as William will be joining, he will share a little bit of his story, like what his work is, what he does here at Cloud, and how we maybe even got to that job. So the journey from learning and being, at first learning at school, etc. So we will definitely, and I'm also keen to explore what his adventure on the educational side was to get to the job around cloud. And then we'll wrap up and we'll have some time for Q&A. So we'll definitely have some time preserved, let's say, for answering any questions if there are. And so as I've mentioned, it's really important to keep the momentum of cloud and participate in it. So of course, we're talking about people who are really keen to explore cloud. So someone probably as you all who is participating, we know there is so many different applications for cloud. And, regardless whether you will be working with maybe some specific tools that Google Cloud has, or maybe you will be working in a company or starting your own startup with some tools that are also from other providers, because we know we are not the only cloud provider there. We're not we're not in a bubble, but many companies use hybrid solutions. They use multi-cloud solutions there, so they use different services from different cloud providers. And so it's really, really important to have a good understanding, like what cloud is, what do I use best from GCP, how do I make the best use out of it at work in the future, but maybe already even you're working on something when you're studying, or maybe you're not studying, but you do some your own crunching as a developer. So we really want to make sure that as the cloud adoption continues, you have the right skill set that is really in high demand. And that means also really hopefully good jobs in the future that will be more accessible to you, but most of all having that skill set that will make a lot of the analytical skills and a lot of the different developer work simply easier and faster with lots of the tools that Google Cloud offers. And so, of course, some of you may be still studying, or maybe you're in school and not studying, but already interested in that topic. Even if there is what we very often hear from students who participate sometimes in our campaigns, is very important to have that background. It's really good to have experience with learning from your subject matter experts at the university, but getting your hands directly on cloud. So in our case, it's Google Cloud, and get a feeling for the tools that you can use, how you use BigQuery, what does it mean to to work with a container, like what all of this means. It's really important and brings your industry skills that are very practical. So that's the advantage of our campaign as well. And of course, we're not working here directly on certifications, but hopefully with the different skill badges, and I will share a little bit later what a skill badge is, hopefully somewhere you might be also getting interested in Google Cloud certification. And there is many, not only professional ones, but also those who lead up to the professional ones. For example, Associate Cloud Engineer, Cloud Digital Leader, so easier certification. It's a really good start to building sort of a portfolio of your skill set that you will be able to show off later on, either to maybe some potential employers or even for yourself, just to have a really good, to kind of have a stamp that you have learned something specific around Google Cloud. And why it's important, for sure, is of course understandable for all of us that if we are really working on deepening our knowledge, it's also this internal gratification, and we sometimes do not need additional push to work on something and to learn about something. But we in fact know that it's really important, not only for example recruiters, and the recruiters share that 82%, if you can prove some skill competency, it helps the recruiters to connect you to the right jobs, for example. A lot of people who have the certification or skill badges, which we will be showing later, you can also link this all to your LinkedIn profile or any professional profile. 83 of the people that we've asked told us that they feel their resume is much more attractive, but also that they feel much more confident when talking about the specific skill set in job interviews, for example. So it's really important not only to, you learn more and you grow your professional skills when it comes to being maybe a developer or maybe a data analyst in the future, but also it is a signal outside in the market. And what we will be focusing on, so that hopefully can also in the future lead to the certifications, what we will be focusing on in our campaign is skill badges and labs. And so as you will see in our example lab that we'll be doing together with us, each of the skill badges, and you can see I've pulled two examples here. One is related to BigQuery and one to Kubernetes. They are at the very bottom. They have a really clear description. It's a skill badge, and this is what we will be kind of guiding you and supporting you in learning to. So you will get, of course, we prepared sort of a menu what you can learn. And you can acquire those skill badges. There will be swag as incentives as well to help a little bit with the boosting, the motivation for the learning, although we hope it's going to be interesting for you even without swag, but still we have it. And so the skill badges are something tangible. Yes. So not only they will be visible in your skills boost profile, but you will be also able to connect them to your LinkedIn, for example. So it's something that you will be able to, when you complete certain set of labs, you will be able to get to a skill badge. And you will see at the platform that there are some badges that are called differently, and they are completion badges. So what we need to remember, the completion badges is not something that counts when it comes to swag. We would be only looking for the skill badges. So you see there is a difference in terms of how they look and how they are described. Yes, so one is a clear completion badge, and then the two on the left are the skill badges. And it doesn't really matter if it's an introductory one or an intermediate skill badge, all of this counts. So you will see there is a skill badge is essentially a lab where you have to do a certain task on your own if you before that complete a certain number of labs. So the platform is very user friendly, and definitely, take your time to get familiar with it. It can be maybe at the beginning a little bit overwhelming if a lot of the terms will be new for you, but we have 8 weeks, and that's enough time really to get learning and to explore the platform a little bit. One important reminder that we will be also sending in the comms after the webinar, when you will be receiving also the access links. Please remember, when you will be learning, do not do more than 15 labs a day. So please stick to this limit, not more than 15 labs per day per each of you, right? So individually. I don't think that's, probably because a lab can be, for example, 15 minutes, or mostly like 20 minutes is the shortest, but some labs can be even 2 hours. Yeah. So we hope you still have time to sleep and to eat, and that you do not have to do more than that. So as we have 8 weeks, it's very manageable to complete all the different tasks that we have prepared for you within that time. It's really not needed to do more. So please watch this limit. Now, one point around how you will be able to get help on the Google Cloud Skills Boost platform, and we will see the platform in a bit, and I'll be able to also refer to this specific screenshot. But know that this information is also something that we can share with you via email. The platform Google Cloud Skills Boost is a learning layer, you could say, that's on top of GCP. What is really important, and we wanted to stress, learning on Cloud Skills Boost is very different from opening up an account on Google Clouds directly. Please do not, if you want to learn with us, do not mistake it with opening an account on Google Cloud, okay? This is very different. The platform does not require you to add any payment information. Please do not add payment information, because what we have prepared for you is free access. So there will be instructions sent to you to follow, so that you get, for those 8 weeks, you get this free access to the platform. So please make sure you're not running a direct Google Cloud account. I mean, if you do this separately and you want it, and that's your personal decision, of course you can do that. But if we're talking about our campaign specifically, the tasks will be done through Google Cloud Skills Boost. So very briefly, there is very good chat options. So if you will run in any technical issues with the platform, which hopefully will not happen, but let's say you attempt a lab a couple of times too much, and then it gets locked for you, you can use the chat option, for example. It's very fast, and then the team will be able to help you. So please remember, any issues or any, maybe not issues, but like questions around the campaign logistics, by when do you have to do what, etc., etc., those questions do not send to those support channels, either chat, etc. This is why we are here for, and you will be able to connect to us through a different email that will be shared. But this platform support is built in, so that if in case you have any issues about a lab, or want to ask something about some specific issue with an activity on the platform, this is where you can escalate it. So that is also very important. Um, then we will have very short introductions into the Skills Boots platform. And we have our guest, Will. Hopefully, he's already connected with us as well. And I am really happy to welcome Will to our webinar. Maybe, sorry, I'll get back on the camera as well. I'm really happy that he's here. He can share a little bit of story around cloud. And we can definitely then explore a little bit of the platform as well, as long as will be sharing with you his journey, and then we get back to the platform, and then we'll have some time for questions and answers. So thank you so much. I'll be back and then I'll for now give the stage to William.
Right. Thank you, Camila. So, again, welcome everyone, and thank you for making the time to attend this session. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Yes. Okay. So, who am I? I'm William Deco. I'm a strategic cloud engineer. I'm working within the professional service where we provide a customer engineering solution to Google Cloud customer. And we only work with Google Cloud customer. So basically, our goal is to support our customer through their journey onto Google Cloud, whether they are designing a new greenfield solution or whether they are looking to migrate from an existing platform to Google Cloud platform. We assist them and provide them the whole help they need. So, yeah, as you are looking to learn, a few years ago, I was right into your spot, and I actually joined Google 3 years back in 2021. As you are looking to learn, this reminds me very clearly of me in my very right after college. Yeah, and by the way, I'm Cameroonian, and I was living and I did all my school in Cameroon. So I graduated from Polytechnic of Yaoundé. Yeah, right after that, after graduating from school, I think on my last year of school at Polytechnic, I actually attend one Google Cloud Study Jam, one of those. Back then, I think I picked it was I picked Android classes, so I was interested with mobile programming. But yeah, a few years later, I'm more into cloud rather than mobile programming. So I hold a master degree in computer science from Polytechnic of Yaoundé. Before joining Google, I worked, yeah, I mean, in chronological orders, I work in as a software engineer at RADA in Nigeria. Some of you in joining us from Nigeria may know I was in Zuka in Nigeria, in Enugu State in Nigeria. So, yeah, I was right there, and I was software engineer for a small startup there. So, and back there for that very specific startup, I worked on Kubernetes. So, and it was very interesting because it just increased my interest in Kubernetes, and it encouraged me to go and take on my very first certification, the Certified Kubernetes Administrator. And by the way, Kubernetes is a technology created and open source by Google. So despite the fact that the certification today is not provided by Google, but it's one of its very unique kind certification out there and very valuable. So after that, I went on to do digital project management back in Cameroon at Total Energy. So yeah, and right, not big of technical there. I did very light Azure Cloud. But after I left there, since I already had my certified Kubernetes administrator, I was able to land one of the very challenging job I had since today, which is DevOps engineer at Irembo in Rwanda. Those of you in East Africa highly likely may know Irembo. This is Irembo. It's the government platform to perform whether if you want to go to Rwanda, or if you are a citizen living in Rwanda, or maybe a foreigner and you are looking for a public service, there is highly likely that you're going to interact with the government through the Irembo platform. So basically, I worked for Irembo and there at Irembo mainly because they were running a Kubernetes infrastructure. I was actually in charge of, as a DevOps engineer, to make sure that we had our automated pipeline to deliver the application in production and to make sure that it's run reliably well in production. So what's make me land this job? Mainly because the fact that I got the interview was two things very accumulating and very important. One was that I got the certified Kubernetes administrator, and one of the second reason was that I had met one person over LinkedIn, which with whom I've been chatting for years with no interest. I mean, I've just found his LinkedIn profile very interesting. I was chatting with him, Alain Michel, and over the years, he worked for this company before me. So as I was looking for a job, he recommended me. And one of the things which stick for them to pick me in was that I got this very valuable certification. And later on, I got to get even more certification from Google Cloud. Some of them are expired right now, but I had a chance to do Cloud Digital Leader. I got also the chance to do the Cloud Engineer certification, the Cloud Architect certification, the Cloud Developer, and the Cloud Data Engineer. So as you are learning, maybe I will encourage you to get some certification, but I also don't want to land you in a journey of getting as much certification as you can, because depending on the stage at which you are in your career, some certification may be useful, but you don't need to have all of them to land a job. I think for my very first job, I had not had no certification back then, but I had completed some study jam like in a very different area. My second job also no certification. My third job, yeah, truly I had one certification. And following that third job, while joining Google Cloud, I had back then 3 certification, the Kubernetes one, the Associate Cloud Engineer, and then I had one certification for AWS as well. So that's the journey. Definitely the certification, if I could give you a very quick experience, is that it helped the recruiter shortlisted the candidate who are going to make it over the interview. So basically the certification gives you an edge to at least go for the interview. When you get to the interview, it's a different story. You then have to prove your knowledge, or you have to prove your experience through the hiring process. So yeah, that's it. That's all about me. And when it comes to the cloud engineer role, and probably following these classes, you maybe start looking for jobs. Just know there is not a very unique title which encapsulates everything. Some company will call it cloud engineers. Some others will just call it maybe cloud architect, or maybe within some company working with the cloud, they will just use the same software engineer who are also doing the application development to also do the cloud part. So they will just be looking for software engineers in that case, or maybe software developers. So that's it. I really want to encourage you, when you see a job, don't just rely on the title. Try to look at the description. Try to figure out what it does there. And if you can reach out to someone working within that team at that company to get more information, okay, what this job will be all about, it will be very helpful for you to have a sense whether you are a good fit, or what you could expect from that job. So yeah, when it comes to the cloud engineer jobs, mainly the cloud engineer jobs, how it looks like, a lot of the time, especially in early days of cloud and probably still today, the expectation was, the expectation for established company was to do some migration job, meaning moving from their existing platform to Google Cloud, or maybe just adding Google Cloud Platform to their existing cloud ecosystem. Maybe within that ecosystem, they could have been their own private cloud, or maybe other public cloud provider as well. So for a lot of those projects, that's how it will look like. But for the startup in general, they generally start straight away on Google Cloud with their very new product solution. They go straight away and look for design and implementation on Google Cloud. So this job, what are the kind of activity you may expect? You may expect to have a lot of meeting discussing the application itself. Maybe what kind of application is it, how to access it, how to manage the permissions. You will have a lot of meeting with the customer, or maybe with the application developers, to have a very clear understanding of the application. And following that, you will also go through requirement gathering, where you will gather requirement from multiple teams. Really, it involves having a lot of meeting with the different stakeholders. And for your job, probably you will have to interact with people from the security team, the application developer, and even the support team. You interact with all those people to have a sense of understanding of what's the application and what's the expectation for you doing this migration or designing this new solution on this green for a green solution. So, and you will definitely have to have a very good understanding, if there is a solution in place, of that infrastructure. If they are running it on-prem, you should understand how it's run on-prem, because you also have to consider that for a solution you are looking to migrate, there should not be downtime. You really want to design a solution which the migration will not be perceived by the end user. So there should not be downtime. So you should really understand the existing solution and see how at some point you're going to make those solutions work together before you fully switch to Google Cloud. That's what I mean really about understanding the current infrastructure setup. And then you also going to propose an architecture design. An architecture design, probably you're going to lay out a document with all the architectural requirement, the solution you are proposing, the trade-off you are making, how you're going to make that solution reliable, what are the process you think should be put in place to operate the solution you are proposing. And then you're also going to provide a migration plan. The migration plan, what should be done, kind of a run book that needs to be done to successfully migrate the application you are looking into. So, and this job especially, it involves a lot of discussion with the different stakeholders, and you have to influence them, to convince them to take on with your proposed design, because you may face some rejection. It will go through a lot of exercise of trying to convince them to actually adhere to the solution you are proposing, or to twist your solution to adapt to the new requirement that you get as you are discussing with them. So you also will write the code, because deploying an infrastructure on Google Cloud, you can also doing it by writing code for that. And this is actually a very good practice to do for deploying the application. You actually after writing the code for your whole infrastructure, or maybe if you are doing some data processing or some machine learning, you write the code for that as well. And yeah, you will go ahead and deploy the solution and ensure it runs properly and it's reliable. So basically, that's the job of a cloud engineer. So that's it. I'm open to question now. If you do have questions, please let me know. And then we'll follow on with the labs. Does anyone have questions? You have the chat open. You can write out the question in the chat, please. Okay, what's the difference between cloud engineer and cloud architect? So it really depends on the company, and it really depends on the job posting. So in general, some company will simply use the term cloud architect. Some other will just use the cloud engineer. So you really will have to go into the job description to figure out what's the difference. But quickly we can say something like the cloud engineer, the expectation will be more onto the person implementing the solution. I mean, the cloud architect will work ahead to propose a design, and the cloud engineer will follow up and provide an implementation and do the reliability part of that solution. That's how it can be seen very quickly. But you need to go through the job description when you see such role to really identify which one it's all about. So yes, which programming language it's used. Mostly you're going to be working with there are options. There is Terraform. You have the possibility to use Terraform, or you also have the possibility to use there is a new one, Pulma. Sorry, I really don't remember the name, but Terraform is the most popular one, and I do encourage you to also have a look into that. And I think you probably during the lab you may have chance to look into Terraform as well. During the skill boot lab, you will have chance. Okay. Do we get certificate on completion during this completion of courses or learning path on Skillboot? You will get some badges. Yes, you will get some badges that you can also use, and I actually do have some badges. Let me share again my screen. I'm sharing it. Yes, here is my Skillboot platform. Alila, please, can you spot? Yes, here is my Skillboot platform. If I'm looking for a new job, I already made my profile public and can just share this link to the recruiter and say, hey, here is my Skillboot platform and here are my badges. So you see here, I have a skill badge for AI ML Foundation, but I also have completion badge of multiple courses. I can also copy just one very specific badge and share it with a recruiter, or you see, I have a lot of skill badge and completion badge that I can share with recruiter. Yeah, all those type of credentials that you can quickly share with recruiter to make sure that you get spot very quickly and being able to made it over the interview round. It will be very helpful. Is it suitable for data science? Yes. Is it suitable for data science student? Definitely. For data. Sorry. Okay. Okay, I can see the question right now. Okay. what's the relationship? Okay, I'm going to take the question on screen right now. What's the relationship between cloud engineer and ML engineer? First of all, the cloud is the place where most company will run the application. Whether you are a cloud engineer just for a very simple application, or whether you are an ML engineer with a very good machine learning understanding, you will actually be writing the code for your model, but been running it also on the cloud. Because if you're a machine learning engineer, you know that to run the training of your model, there is a very important resource that you need to have access to, which are the GPUs, right? And those GPUs, you quickly get them available on cloud platform today, rather than very few companies today do buy GPUs for their own. Very few. So on Google Cloud, you have them quickly, and you can use it. You can use that resource there to train your model and to do so many other things. That's why it's so important both for the cloud engineer and the ML engineer to both have a very good understanding of the cloud platform, and as well as for the data science for a data science person. A data science person, what it will actually do, the job of a data science person is to basically analyze the data and model it over some observed behavior to help take decision. So where do we store the data? We store the data in data warehouses, data lake, and so on. And Google Cloud do actually have one of the very powerful data warehouse out there, which is BigQuery. As a data engineer, you're going to work with that data source every day. So you also need to have a good understanding of Google Cloud to start with. So see it as, I will say it as a commodity. As a computer science student, right? All of you, in all the field, you need to have a little of a knowledge of what's a programming language, what's networking. I mean, whether you are in data science, machine learning, or whatsoever, because in any of those fields, your application may fail just because of the network. If you don't understand the network, it's not good. So the fundamental knowledge today, it's the platform, it's the cloud platform. And all of you need to understand it, whatever the field of computer science you are in. Does Flutter mobile software programmer can migrate successfully to cloud engineer? Yes, of course. I told you from my very individual story, I started with a very good interest in Android programming, and over the time I switched on. I'm a strategic cloud engineer today. I've been doing this job for 3 years now. So yeah, there is no doubt that a motivated individual can actually achieve it. So yeah, I'm going to keep taking questions from the chat. Did you do this work remotely or at the office? Yeah, I mean, this is a Google question. Google has an hybrid work policy. So basically, we have days in office, and we also have days that we can work remotely. Yeah, it's a combine. It's an hybrid approach, and it's very nice because you get in touch with your colleague when you are in the office. You can quickly get help, chat with people. So mostly hybrid, I would say. Okay, on the screen right now, how is the relationship between software development and cloud engineering? Well, again, there is more and more steps being taken so that software engineers are not just writing code for the features. Software engineers also need to think about how their code will run, which is very important because it helps them to write very more efficient code. today, if you're a software engineer, you're probably not going to be writing a full monolithic application. You're probably going to start thinking about, okay, maybe this application or maybe this portion of my application, and actually need to write a cloud function. Just maybe if you are looking, for example, to compress image uploaded by the user, you don't have to have that included in your whole monolithic. The simple things you do is that when the user upload the image, it get into a cloud storage. Once it land into a cloud storage, it trigger a function, and that function run, it compress that image and it store it again in another cloud storage. And over time, you simply delete the original image, which take a lot of space. A software engineer, it's expected also to have already like a cloud, an understanding of the platform where its application will run. And the platform, it's what? It's a cloud platform, of course. So the software engineer should be aware of the different build print that's available, which is their cloud function. They are the container, which you can run on Cloud Run, or maybe you can run the container on Google Kubernetes engine, or you can simply do your application and running into Compute Engine. So you have multiple options there, and the software engineer need to be aware of the different options and where its application will run. So there is a very good relationship there. So what cloud role feel well with high performance computing? Yeah.
Can I
Yes,
inject?
yes,
Because we
please
have
go
so
ahead.
many questions, and we were just talking backstage. There's really so many, so good questions. We can go back to the questions afterwards, but I know we also set a time limit to the participants. I don't know if everyone can stay. I'd say
Okay.
let's go now to the lab. We can do like 15 minutes of the lab. We don't have to fully complete it, and then we either go back to the questions, but we also will prepare a doc with answers to those questions as well. So whoever cannot stay will get some answers as well. I
So
hope that works. And it
yes,
seems to me like you will be a candidate for participating in one of our Q&A sessions in the future. So
yes, of course,
thank you so
with
much.
pleasure. Um, so Alila, please, can you share the main screen? I want. Okay, here is the lab. You may have received the link for it. So yeah, okay. If I come back to cloud, the Skillboot platform, when you're on the Skillboot platform, basically it's loading. The Skillboot platform. Okay. Okay, when you're on the Skillboot platform, you get access to this portal, right? Right here, you see ongoing class that you are taking, and you can see the different learning path on which you are in. As you are progressing through the learning path, you're going to see the progression as of now. So, and basically, if you do click on one learning path, for example, you will get a series of courses. You get a very brief introduction, and you get a series of courses. And for every single courses, within the courses, you get labs. Within the courses, generally, it would tells you that you have labs. Maybe if I take which one, for example, or maybe some courses can actually only be labs. This is just an example, just to give you an idea. Okay, you get the labs this way, right? For example, this is a course, you get a lab and it's coming. It looks somehow like this, right? I hope you can see my screen very well. So this is a lab within a course, and you see I will then switch to the lab we are going to do today. This is the lab we are going to do today. This basically, it's a very simple introductory lab. And this lab will take you around Google Cloud Platform. Very simple, very introductory. So this skill boot lab, what you can see here, as you are completing, you are progressing every on every session you get points of completion, and you also get some ranking, because like, can you see my mouse where I'm pointing? So you also get some ranking, right? Sometimes you can check for every session you can get, and for every labs, if you do check, you get a duration. And this lab especially, it's no cost lab. uh, yeah, and for every lab there are also ratings, which at every step when you do complete it, it will increase your rating. For this lab especially, it's on 100, some are sometimes less. So let's start the lab. If you want to start the lab, you just click right here, right? um, as you click right here, it's going to provision a temporary Google Cloud environment, right? And as it provisioned a temporary Google Cloud environment, you can start reading the instruction given here, right? It tells you, okay, what's Google Cloud, what's Google Cloud Skill Boot, which is the platform we are currently in. And the Google Cloud platform do have a console, which we are going to access very quickly. Yeah, it tells you what you will learn completing this lab, and you also get a list of pre-requirements, of list of things for you to know in order to successfully proceed with the completion of this lab. And you are encouraged to join the Google Cloud platform using incognito mode of your browser. So I'm going to share my full screen now so that we can, sorry, stop sharing. So I'm going to start the lab, but here I'm not going to click to open it right away. I'm just going to click and open in incognito windows, because I remember this lab is provision and the credit are already assigned in that lab. You don't need to configure any payment at all. If you've been asked to configure a payment, you probably have not joined in incognito mode and you need to check. So also you have to do it in incognito mode so that you don't end up doing it into your account and it ends up costing you money. And by the way, we are not refunding if you do happen to do it by any mistake on your account. So please be careful there. So we encourage you to click here to open it in incognito mode. In incognito mode, it provides you basically what the environment being provisioned will provide you with a username, a password, and a project ID. So I copy the password. By default, it comes, when I use the way I use, it comes with the email address. I also use the password provided. Here, I accept the terms and condition. This is in Polish, but very soon it's going to change. The language is in. Okay, because I'm in Poland, I agree to the terms and I click agree. Okay, and I went a little bit fast, but you should have checked there and see the email address. But quickly after you join a lab, to make sure you are working on the right environment, you come here and you copy this and you come back here, you check if the email address you see here, it's exactly the same one which was provided for the lab. This is how you do it, right? And as it is the same, you are confident you are not in your own environment. So that's the first step before starting anything. And then you have to confirm that the project you are on right now, it's actually the project. You click here and you just do Control F and you paste the project that was given to you. If it match with this project, sorry, you are actually sure that you are on the account and on the project appropriate to run this lab. So Going forward, I'm sure I'm not mistaken. I'm on the right project, I'm on the right account. Going forward, then I can execute all the subsequent steps with confidence. Just notice the time is decrementing. When the time will step down to 0, this account you will lose access to this account. You will no longer have any permission to this account, which we encourage you to take to be aware of and to execute the step within the given time. Most of the labs you can complete. All the lab actually are designed to be completed within this given time, and we do encourage you to do so. Yeah, you don't, in terms of credits, you don't need to worry about that. It's already provisioned within this account for you. So the time is given, and as you complete the step, you will be given a score. Yeah, if you want maybe more lab for yourself, you can also go ahead and pay the labs, depends on you. But please don't run the lab into your own account. We don't refund it. So, okay, now let's go ahead and test our understanding. Yeah, answer the following by choosing the right options. Okay, which of these options will build a temporary environment in Google Cloud? So you can send it in comment. Maybe just one or two. Which of the following options will build a temporary environment in Google Cloud for you to work with? I expect 1 to 2 people to send comments. Okay, Start Labs. Exactly. So by clicking on the Start Lab button, it will provision this environment for us to work in. This account got created only after we clicked on the Start Lab. And if we do check, it's true. By submitting this, I think we're going to receive some points. Check the progress. Oh, maybe let's continue. The points are going to be unlocked at some point. Okay. Okay, when the timer reach 00, you will lose access to the temporary Google Cloud environment, which is true. I already mentioned that. Yeah, some lab do crack your score, and yeah, which is true also. As you complete, we're going to actually see that later on. In order to receive completion of the lab, you must complete all the required hands-on activities. I have to tell you, but after executing a lot of these steps, some of those steps, when we do actually ask you, for example, create a virtual machine, they will make the lab behind the scene will make sure that you created a virtual machine. If you've been given the name of the virtual machine to create, the lab environment, which is running behind the scene, will make sure that you created the virtual machine appropriately with the given name. If you do otherwise, you do using something else, the assessment will not come through. So those are the kind of things that you need to be aware of. So now, starting the lab, you get in the task 1, starting the lab, about accessing the Google Cloud Platform. You get here the instruction, how you're going to use the provided credential here to be able to access the Google Cloud Platform. So yeah, you open the Google Cloud Platform, you get the project ID. We already mentioned how to check after you successfully open it. Just in case, that's why we did open this in incognito mode, because we don't want a situation where we actually mistakenly work. I mean, some lab will require you to create virtual machine, maybe sometimes create virtual machine with GPUs. And GPUs, as you know it, are very expensive if you don't want to run that into your own account. So please make sure all the time that you are on the given account provided here. So let's keep going down. You check the user name. Yeah, here are the instructions how you're going to do that. What field is not founded in the left panel? Amount, this one. So you can see it's the system admin, which is not founded in this left panel. So yeah. Creating a virtual machine want a credit or a lab token. Please, I also want to let you know, every single lab, it's scoped. It's very scoped. Within this given lab, you cannot just do anything. You have to follow this instruction. If you try to get out of this script, most of the time it's going to block you. For example, this lab doesn't have planned the creation of a virtual machine. If you do try to create a virtual machine, it will block you. So you cannot, within this lab, you cannot create a virtual machine. That's what I'm going to tell you. And if you do try to create a virtual machine, it will tell you maybe to provide a billing account also, which this lab especially will cost you nothing for running it, even if you are running it within your own Google Cloud account, which I already said I don't encourage you to do so. So the username in the left panel, which resembles to something like this, yeah, it's a cloud IAM identity, true. So yeah, to get the project detail, let's go into the platform. Generally, when you welcome into the platform, you get generally access to this dashboard panel. And here immediately you can see the project informations. Yeah, and every single project in Google Cloud do have three main attributes. The project name, which you can change at any time. It should just be a friendly name for you. The project number, once your project is created, the project number cannot be changed. And the project number is unique across all the projects within Google Cloud. And this number is assigned by Google upon the creation of the project. For the project ID, Google gives you the option to actually choose your project ID on your own. But these project IDs still have to be unique across all the Google Cloud project. So as you'll be learning Google Cloud, you will learn proper way to actually generate for yourself and your organization unique project ID. So those are coming up. So if you want to get more detail about your project, you can also click on go to project setting, or for some reason you may want to delete your project. You will have to click there also to do that. So you also get this panel regarding the APIs. It tells you because every single action that you are doing on Google Cloud, it's actually calling an API, and you will get this API. It will give you an ideas of how frequent the APIs are called and which APIs are being called. So yeah, here you get a general status of Google Cloud Services. This is not about your application. It's about Google Cloud Services. At the moment, all services are operating normally, meaning Google Compute Engine, Google Kubernetes, Engine, Cloud Function, Cloud Run, all those services provided by Google for you to use as a platform are operating normally. And if you do click here, you will see more drill down detail for every single service. So you also get this monitoring box. which provide you quick action for you to create a dashboard, to set up alert policies, to create uptime checks, and so many other things. Yeah, you get also the resource box, this resource box on the left side, if you can see my mouse. So this resource box, it tells you, okay, you get quick action that you can actually do. Those among the quick action is to create a BigQuery, is to access to BigQuery, or access to Cloud SQL, or to Compute Engine, or to Cloud Storage, or to Cloud Function, or to Cloud Run. Yeah, you also get a lot of, I would say, shortcut to access the different services. So, and on the left panel, this is the left menu panel. The left menu panel, you open it by clicking on this menu button on the left of the Google Cloud logo. Yeah, and here, if you do scroll down, you see some ping product, some product which are pinged here and provided for you. At the bottom right there, if you click, you will see all the product. It will get you to this page, where you will see all the Google Cloud product, which are a lot, I would say. And for every single product, currently there are more than 4,500 products. And when we do talk about products, you don't need, just for you not to be worried, you don't need to know all of them. I actually don't know all of them. And I don't even know if I know the third of those products. I don't know third of those products, but I'm using the platform successfully. So you have to be focused on the area that you are looking into. As a data scientist, you probably will be looking into working with a storage, the analytic product, and the machine learning product that you will see, the AI product, for example. You're probably going to be looking into that. But within the AI product as well, you don't need to know all of them, probably because you are working on a very specific area. You just be looking for a very specific product. If we take, for example, Vertex AI, which is the unified AI platform provided by Google for you, yeah, if you click there, here, you will access to the Vertex AI platform. But that's just a way for you where you can go ahead, try to create a collab, or access existing models, or maybe just access Vertex AI Studio to try some generative AI. Or yeah, you get a lot that you can do with the different product provided by Google. So, but I'm coming back to the, if you also want to access to the product, you don't need to go down there. You can also click on solution, all the product, where you jump back here. And yeah, that's it when it comes to viewing all the list of the product. And on the left side, you see the different category. I told you that software engineers need to be aware of the platform, because there are just many options where you can deploy your application. You get here Cloud Run functions, App Engine, API gateway, and endpoints. So the software engineer at least need to be aware of the serverless options, as well as the compute options, the storage options available, and the databases. A good software engineer, if he knows those areas, it's good enough already. Depending on your profile, there are certain key services that you need to be aware. Like the software engineer doesn't need to know about the AI stuff and all those things. The DevOps person, for example, probably will add a very good knowledge of the CI/CD product. So yeah, let's keep going through the lab. Yeah, in order to view all the projects which are required there, you just go here in the menu right on the right of the logo. You click on the project you see there, which is the scope selection menu. And then here you come and you will see all the projects, right? Generally, the project is within an organization, within a folder. You will learn all about that during your learning track. So yeah, let's test our understanding. And organizing entities for anything you build in Google Cloud, what's that? It's a project. Every resources which are billable within Google Cloud need to be residing within a project. You cannot create a virtual machine which is not within a project. So yes, QuickSlab resources is share read only with all QuickSlab so that you cannot delete or modify. Tricky questions. Actually, I'm a little bit confused.
And also, I'll jump in
So,
as well. Quick Labs, it's actually interesting that this is inside here because Quick Labs is former name of the platform. So Google Cloud Skills Boost was called Quick Labs before, but it's a tricky question indeed. It's
yes.
not really about cloud; it's more about the platform.
Yes, okay. This platform which you are accessing right here actually used to be formerly QuickLab. It just got embedded within the Skillboot platform. So let's try it out.
Right.
Yeah, that's false. We do. Yeah, let's try the other options, especially for this. Yeah, Quick Lab Resources is the project where you run all your lab. Yeah, yeah. Oh, really? So anyway, yeah, that's the right one. So navigating the menu, we already discussed that. Yeah, let's go into one important point here before closing. Okay, let's go to IAM, right? IAM, what's IAM? Here it's, if you want to access IAM, I can directly go here through the product list following this one, right? And this is here this is IAM at admin. You can see it here. I can click here, or because IAM is generally very frequently accessed, these are like the ping product which are provided here by default to you, are very frequently accessed product. So for this case, I will click on IAM at admin, which will lead me to this page. And this page is the IAM page. Basically, on this IAM page, right, you get the different email address. The email address, it's a principal. In general, it's, you get the different principal. Generally, it's not only the email address, it can also be a domain. Yeah, but if you do check very carefully, you will see that your student email address, which is this one, it's actually this one here, that which is mentioned here, right? And on this account, it details the role that you have. And the role that you currently have on this project at this level is that you have editor role and viewer role, right? So which means for this case especially, you don't have enough permission to grant additional role, and generally the role which are going to be given to you within a project will be just enough to perform the lab successfully. So in general, yeah, that's quick lab. And let's
Thanks, Will. I think I'll be jumping in. And
yeah.
I'll see the chat. There's some questions about the navigating the platform. Someone, Mariam says she's confused. That's totally normal in the beginning. So everybody who is a little bit overwhelmed at the moment, don't worry. You'll have enough time to get with more introduction to the platform. Also, let me start presenting again. Or actually, I think I am. If we can put on my presentation, thank you. So that was the tour of Google Cloud Hands-on Labs. And just to address one of the questions we already had, you will get, I think throughout the next 24 hours, an email with all the information that you need. So there were some questions about how you get the link with access, etc. please make sure to follow the instructions that we will send you in the email, because what you need to activate is the free subscription. Yes, so we don't want you to pay anything on the Skills Boost platform, and so follow the instructions that you will receive there. Also, make sure, as also Will underlined, only do the labs with along as the instructions are, so that you never use any private account, but really focus on what is in the instructions and only use as you have seen, each of the labs requires a temporary Google Cloud account. Yeah, so it's creating a temporary email password for you. So it's always be a temporary account for each of the labs. So that's all normal or good. And this is what needs to be followed. I added a couple of points as we were watching Will's kind of navigating to the platform. So a couple of reminders. Please remember about the 15 labs a day limit. Also, if the time runs out, and it maybe will happen in the beginning, mostly for the labs, the time is overestimated. So should not be the case. But if it happens that you run out of time, you can do the lab again. So don't worry, you're going to start from scratch, but you can do it again. Also, follow the instructions exactly as Will said. If you will try to do something that is not in the scenario for the lab, the system may not let you do it. It's also because we see sometimes some fraudulent behavior, or like someone just by mistake using some resources that are not necessary, and the system may simply stop you. So follow the instructions, the incognito window, which we already mentioned, and always check and mark the progress as you complete the different steps. And always at the end, click End Lab. There is a button for the start of the lab, but there's also one to end the lab. So please always remember to do it. There was a question: how will the Skills Boost platform know what you have completed? If the separate labs are not visible in the so Will was showing also his public profile. The separate labs are not visible. But if you get to the skill badges, which is what we want everyone to at some point to achieve, those skill badges will be visible in your public profile. And also, I will switch very briefly to the next slide. So along in the email, together with how to activate everything and so on, you will get the link that is here under the follow the instructions. It's very simple. Once you have your account on Google Skills Boost, if you go to your profile, there is an option, make my profile public. It's literally, I think, 1 or 2 clicks, so very simple. And this is what will also be needed for later on, so we can see how many skill badges you have acquired. So that is from the content. We had some time for questions, and I'm really so happy with because in one side we did not get cover all, but in the end it's really great to see such a vibrant community and everybody's asking questions. We will prepare the document with those questions that are not yet answered. Sorry if you hear, that was my dog clapping with his ears here, so I hope that that's the last time. So that all will be sent to you, all of the details and the instructions. If there is a certificate at the end, this particular cohort, that the campaign that we do at the moment, not. But who knows, if we have a really good crowd interested in getting certified here, and if we have a group of people that will really have a lot of skill badges, which means you're really good prepared for first certification, we can think about that, and we can potentially do that for the community at some later stage. I hope that was helpful. If you have any very sorry, thanks for the doggo in the chat, and sorry for that. And also we are planning, and Alela, if you want to say a few words, or John at the end, but I know there is some Q&A sessions planned along the way, so don't worry, this is not the last time you get to ask some questions. We'll definitely organize something to help with the learning.
Thank you, Camila. I guess maybe just as we're coming to an end, do know that we are going to be able to provide as much support as possible for this program to be, amazing, and everybody to at least try to do the completion badge and also gain all the skill badges that are there. Somebody asked if there's going to be support during learning. Yes, and what is going to happen is for everybody who does the first completion badge and attains it, we will add you to a Slack channel, and on the Slack channel, there are going to be mentors, and these mentors should be able to, just provide guidance in any way and answer questions that may arise. And so we are lucky to have at least 80 mentors who are going to dedicate their time and hopefully more to just be able to ensure that everybody is having the challenges addressed. One thing also, please go to the to the site. You're going to be able to see on FAQs, some of the questions that you have asked are going to be updated there, and a step-by-step guidance on how to attain the quick labs following the email that is going to be sent will also be there just for your reference. That's it from my end. Hadija, I don't know if you're still on the call. Are there exam vouchers? All these questions are going to be answered. Kirabo, to answer your question on learning Docker and Kubernetes, if you go through the course content, you will realize that there's a part that actually has that material there. And so, yes, you will get a chance to learn about Docker and Kubernetes all together. Has learning already started? I think this is the final question I'm going to take up. We are going to kick it off after the email. So immediately you get the email, over the course of the next 24 hours, kindly proceed to the link and then you can start learning. Each coursework is expected to take exactly 1 week. If shorter for you, well and good. But by the end of the 8-week period, we will expect that you have completed all the 8 courses outlined there, attained your skill badges. As Camila mentioned, there is going to be a criteria for swag. So not everybody is going to get the swag. So try as much as possible. Let this be maybe a motivational factor for you to ensure that, at least you get, other than maybe a certificate of completion or the skill badges, but you're also able to get something amazing from the cloud team. Camila, that's it from me, unless you have something that you want to add. I think we're good to call it a day.
Yep. Thank you so much for the participation. And also we'll send we have pre-selected for you some specific skill badges to acquire, kind of what to learn. Those are those that we suggest that you go through, but you will have access to the entire platform. We'll be emailing also throughout the course of the couple of weeks, and I'll be in close touch with Alela, John, and Khadija, and all the team. So thank you for your participation. Super vibrant community, and I totally encourage everyone to participate in Slack. One can learn from the other, and that's really great to see. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Bye. And